So I'm just going to talk about the main moves of the last couple of days, the smaller ones that have happened. But ironically, Marwin Gonzalez has just signed with the White Sox. So I need to take a literal minute to talk about that because it literally fills all the holes that I kind of was about to say. So Marwin Gonzalez is better than like replacement level, like I was kind of speculating they might end up doing. But now with him and Kiki Hernandez, I feel like there's a lot of flexibility because Marwin and Kiki can both play the outfield if you want to give Chavis or another young player a run at second base, and then Marwin can also play first base. So if they're going to have a rookie Bobby Dalbec starting them this year, so it gives you, I think, having two players like that, and then like another like Chavis who might not be the best of them, but has played a lot of different positions over the last couple of years. I think having a lot of players like that is really good for any team. So I'm pretty happy with this deal. There are a lot of other teams interested, but the Red Sox ended up bringing him in, so I'm pretty happy. Let's get on to the other moves. There's a lot of them. I'm going to start off with David Phelps signing to the Blue Jays. I'm not really sure how good Phelps was last year, but I know in the past he has been very good. And I've been saying that the Jays need to have pitching. And I think this is another good ad. So Phelps was pretty rough last year. Of course, for the Phillies, I mean, not really his fault at this point, but in the past has put together a lot of seasons with an ERA around 3. So I think there's been a lot of moves that the Blue Jays has made in their bullpen where it's like some kind of higher risk but high ceiling moves. So this is just another one of them. And I mean, for $1 million, I'd say why not for this. So yeah. Jen Lowry is apparently alive and is signed back with the A's. He had a couple incredible seasons with the A's until he signed with the Mets and got hurt out of nowhere for about literally 2 years. And like, I'm not even sure if he ever even played a game for them, but I'll check. But I mean, for the A's, I'm not sure what I really think of them right now. I don't think they're that good. So I think a move like this is something that's just right up their alley and could really end up benefiting them. Let's see if he ever played for the Mets. He played 9 games for the Mets, 0 hits, 1 walk. So, not the most luxurious career with the Mets, but, you know. Then we got Brandon Kintzler signing with the Phillies, so Matt Joyce. A couple low-end moves that, for the Phillies, Kintzler makes sense. I think Matt Joyce is kind of signed to take that Phil Goslin role if, necessary. I mean, obviously, they don't really plan on it. Kintzler was very good last year. Another really good ad by the Phillies. I said it before, but especially so now. They have the bullpen places in peace to have a solid bullpen. Definitely not like a terrible one like last year. It's just a matter of those guys just not being terrible once they sign with the team. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. And it'll be interesting to see if the Phillies had a decent bullpen last year. They're an easy playoff team, so... what else do we got? Jake Marisnick signed with the Cubs, so that kind of takes away the possibility of the Mets getting him, but I really think Pilar is a guy more up their alley. Derek Fisher was cut from the Blue Jays. That's pretty interesting. A former top prospect cut, but we're at that point where I guess it just gotta kind of happen for him. Nomar Mazara signs with the Tigers. I really like this. I've liked Nomar and have been interested in him latching onto a team for a while. I was interested in the Red Sox maybe getting him in that spot, but for them it makes more sense to get Marwin, and for the Tigers it makes more sense to get Mazara because he could have a really good year and then definitely be wanted at the deadline. And one last thing is the Indians signed Billy Hamilton or apparently are nearing a deal. I mean, Billy Hamilton has always had potential just because of the speed, but listen, I just have never thought he can hit, so I've never really thought much of him, but, not a bad deal. Of course, if you're the Indians, made a couple moves, but we all know they're not going to be very good. So now to wrap this up, we're going to be talking about the Baseball Pro predictions for standings. We'll just start with the American League, point out some notable things, and see what we say. So the AL East, they have it exactly as I predicted. Yankees, Rays, Blue Jays, Red Sox, but the Red Sox and Rays are kind of crowded, and who knows if some of the moves Red Sox made would push them up, but I think that middle 3 could be really interesting to see throughout the season. I'm just not really sold on the Blue Jays starting pitching, so otherwise I would have them higher. I'm not really sold on the Rays very much either because their offense was not good in the playoffs and they've lost a couple of pitchers. Now, I just have always believed in the Rays and they've always just gotten the job done, but we'll have to see what happens. Central, we have the Twins. Somehow the Indians are projected to finish higher than the White Sox. I am willing to bet that does not happen. Now, I said I still think the Indians are objectively good with Jose Ramirez still on and Shane Bieber still on the team. But I don't think without Lindor or Carrasco, they're better than the White Sox. So I think the Indians they're projected to have 86. I think it'll be a little bit more around that 80. AL West, we have the Astros first, Angels second, which is interesting, over the Athletics, who are about to be projected to be 500. Yeah, I see that. I kind of predict that for the Athletics too. Maybe I'll come out with official standings for myself at some point, but Angels at 87 wins, that's pretty interesting. And I honestly don't think it'll happen unless they sign another good starter. But, I mean, I would love to see Mike Trout in the playoffs, that's all I'll say. Also, something interesting to point out is Royals projected for 71 wins despite trading for Benintendi. So it was kind of confusing why they would want to trade for Benintendi, and even though they're projected to be barely better than the Tigers. So now we move on to the National League, where I think these standings, like the AL East I kind of predicted for the most part, these seem to be a little bit more interesting of predictions. So we're going to start with the NL East. Mets projected to finish first with 96 wins. Then the Nationals, then the Phillies, then the Braves fourth with 82. First of all, I mean, the order is good, except for the Braves have to be first. I don't think there's much of a way that the Braves are worse than any of the teams here, except maybe the Mets, but maybe the Mets, especially if they bring in Bryant or Hendricks or Turner. But I think the Braves pitching staff, while they're young, so like via baseball perspectives, like might not have them ranked very high. Like I think a lot of their pitchers show that they can be very good, and that's why I think they're number one, especially the addition of playoff Chuck. I just gotta say, I think they're one. I know Central is very interesting. Brewers projected to be first. Cubs projected to be second. Cardinals, Reds, 3-4. Honestly, I kind of had Cardinals, Reds as my 1-2, but I kind of understand the Brewers one, so I honestly think it'll be more like, what do I think? I think as of right now, I got Cardinals, Brewers, Reds, and Cubs. For right now, I probably would have the Cubs ahead of the Reds maybe, but their offense was so bad last year, and it seems like they're just going to trade more players that I can't really think the Cubs are going to be good. So yeah, that was a bit of surprising when to see in the Central for me, quite frankly. NL West, one thing to note before I say this is getting projected for 100 wins is like kind of insane in these, and the Dodgers are projected for 103. So it kind of just shows. And then Padres second at 96. So despite winning 96 games, that would be projected to win literally any other division than the AL East this season. In the NL East, they're going to be in second place by 7 games by this projection, which is kind of wild. Then the Diamondbacks, Giants, Rockies fill it out. None of them are very good. So, yeah, that's all I got for today. Thank you all for listening. A lot of interesting stuff has happened over the last couple of days, so I appreciate all of you listening. Make sure to watch the new YouTube video. I'm going to be recording a podcast for my general news, interesting news podcast, probably tomorrow or Saturday, so be on the lookout for that. I really enjoy making those, and I've been looking forward to this upcoming episode. So yeah, thank you all for listening.